Your neighbor is lying to you about what your house is worth. They want you to set a record-breaking price so their own house looks more valuable. But this friendly advice from your neighbor is a trap. It is going to scare away serious buyers, and it'll keep your house on the market for months. In this market, your neighbor's opinion is not a strategy. I will show you how to find the real number to get your house sold. In tight-knit areas like Ancaster and Burlington, everybody talks. People watch the for sale signs go up and down. They talk over the fence. The most common thing you'll hear is, I heard the house around the corner sold for over $1 million. You definitely shouldn't take any less than that. It sounds like they're being supportive, but here's the part most people miss. Your neighbor has a massive conflict of interest. When you sell your house, it becomes a comparable for the rest of the street. It's a benchmark. If that price is lower than your neighbor's fantasy number in their head, their wealth on paper goes down. Your neighbor isn't a real estate expert. They just want to see you sell your house for a high price, because if you do, their price goes up. Don't let someone who isn't paying your bills tell you how much your house is worth. Your neighbor wants a high score for the street, and you just want a check in the bank. If you're serious about selling your house, watch my video on this next, because this is going to save you a pile of money. This is where it gets uncomfortable. Your neighbor doesn't know the details of the $1 million sale that happened around the corner. They don't know that the house had a $50,000 kitchen renovation, for example. They don't know that the basement was fully finished. They only see the headline price. They don't see the sold price. They just see the listing price and assume that's what the sellers got. In places like Ancaster or Burlington, every house is different. When you price your home based on your neighbor's guess, you're flying blind. The fence line appraisal is the most expensive mistake a seller can make. Neighbors love to talk about big sale prices, but they rarely know the actual terms of the deal or what went into the sale in the first place. They don't know if the seller gave a massive credit on closing for repairs, or if the house was actually sitting on a much larger lot. When you follow your neighbor's advice, you may be stuck on the market for months. And then buyers in Hamilton and Burlington and wherever your house is will see that you've been sitting on the market for months and wonder what's wrong with your house. Now, this is the mistake I see most often. Sellers actually can get emotionally tied to the number their neighbor gave them. And then once that $1 million number is in your head, an offer for $900,000 can feel like an insult. It's like a personal attack. You feel like you're being lowballed. But I'm here to tell you the market doesn't care about your feelings. It only cares about what a buyer is willing to pay right now. When your house sits on the market because it's overpriced, it becomes stale. And in a market that is very, very competitive for sellers, if a buyer sees a property that looks like it's stale, they start asking, what's wrong with the house? A house that doesn't sell fast is like blood in the water. My advice is stop comparing your house to the best case scenario that your neighbor told you about. Real estate prices move all the time. If you want to know what your home is really worth, you have to look at the sold prices from the last 60 to 90 days, sometimes even 6 months back. Look at the houses that are a similar size to yours, similar age, 1 or 2 car garage. What's the lot size? What are the finishes like? Is it updated or not updated? Whichever one looks the closest to yours and has sold and has a sold price attached to it, that's how to know your home's value. Stop letting your neighbors tell you how to sell your house. This is not a community project. This is your financial future. And I'm pretty sure your neighbors aren't going to pay your mortgage if they're wrong. When they ask you, why didn't you list for that price we talked about? Tell them that your agent has the data to prove the comparable sales on the street and you went with that. You have to be willing to be the bad guy on the street if it means keeping your money safe. Your neighbors might be disappointed that your sale didn't raise the bar for them, but they're not the ones that are moving. If you list at an attractive price, you will attract more buyers. More buyers lead to a higher final sale price. Real estate wealth is built on facts, not gossip. Every house is different, even if they're on the same street in Waterdown or Ancaster. What a house sold for last year is really ancient history. Sold prices from the last 60 or 90 days really are ideal, and this is the only thing that's going to put the check in your hand. Trust the numbers. Trust your real estate professional and ignore your neighbors. If you're feeling the pressure of neighborhood expectations here in Hamilton or Burlington, get in touch with me. Let's have a conversation.